Alright, it's time for yet another Green-White Depths League. Now, the last 2 weeks we've tried 2 different lists. First we tried out my own list that I've been working on for a couple of months, and then we tried out the challenge winning list after that. What I've done now is that I've mixed them together. There were some things that I liked from last week's list that I want to incorporate into my deck, and then there were some cuts that I thought that I might be able to make. So the big change from my original list is that I've decided to try to play without Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is a great card and it helps me a lot with my mana, but sometimes it tricks you into keeping hands that you shouldn't keep because you feel like you're locked on to find the missing source or the missing creature part from Once Upon a Time, and you whiff, and that feels quite bad. So I'm trying a deck with more relevant cards in it. What I've done is that I've primarily added a Sylvan Library. I did think that performed quite well last week. And I've also added the Talon Gates of Madara. I think that there's some really sweet plays that you can make with that card. And the more I play with it, the more lines will come to me when thinking about what I can do for my land package. The last card that I added as a main deck card is Soul Guide Lantern. I was thinking about adding either Soul Guide Lantern or Vexing Bauble. I decided to go with Soul Guide Lantern because there's so much scam out there. If the meta percentage of scam goes down, I'm probably gonna take out Soul Guide Lantern from the main deck and move in another card, but for now I'm gonna try that one there. I've also added a second Endurance and moved the Outland Liberator to the board. Also, scam is the main reason for doing this. And the same goes here. If the graveyard decks go down in popularity, I'll move Outland Liberator back to the main deck and Endurance back to the board. In the board, I think that they're the largest changes from my original list. I thought Glacial Chasm was kind of sweet last week, so I'm trying that one again. Feels like it's a good card in the creature matchups to buy a couple of more turns, and also in the Flesh Raker combo match, it's good because it kind of protects you there. I've added some more Graveyard Hate, so I have my third Endurance in the board, and then I have a Fairy Macabre I'm trying out as well. I've always wanted to try a Fairy Macabre for the Cephalid or Octopus Breakfast matchup. I've also decided to go with Deafening Silence and Veil of Summer for the combo matches. Gone down to just 1 Vexing Bauble on the board. I also took away 1 Force of Vigor. I was up to 3 Force of Vigors because I was afraid of Necro Dominance. I haven't faced that one that much, so I decided to go down to 2 Force of Vigors. I also think that there's going to be some oops, all spells, so I want more relevant graveyard interaction. So this is the list that I'm going for. As usual, please comment if you have any suggestions or if there's anything you think that I can improve or remove. I'm very open for suggestions. One last comment regarding that. I'm thinking more and more towards adding a third color, the red color, for splashing the blasts. The blasts feel like they're on the rise with the frogs that have been quite annoying when facing them, and more blue decks as well. It's not impossible that if Scam gets banned, that we'll see more froggies. You also want to fight Nadu on the stack, so there are a lot of potential upsides to playing that card. So we'll see, but for this league, I'm trying out green-white, so let's get into the matches. One more thing before we get started. So I noticed when I recorded the video that the first game of the series, I recorded the wrong screen. So I have booted up the playback and then tried to fit in the audio. So hopefully it's watchable. Otherwise, if you feel that it's not delivering the experience you want, you can skip to the second game where everything is up and running as it should. The sideboarding for game 1 is also a little bit weird. It's just the screen of my sideboard and then me talking about the cards, but I thought that I'd leave it in anyway so you could follow my chain of thought there. All right, thank you, and let's get started. So we've been paired for our first match, and unfortunately we lost the die roll. Looking at this hand, I feel like it's a keep. We have turn 1 Reclaimer into turn 2, hold Reclaimer up into turn 3 Knight, or maybe go for a combo attempt, depending a little bit on the matchup. We're weak, of course, against combo. We're a little bit weak against Scam because we don't have any of our main deck cards there, but we're always going to be weak against Scam. So we're going to keep this. So let's see, opponent goes Flooded Strand, into Basic Island, into anyhow Spellbomb. I guess this is a person that's been hurt by Scam. So, well, that we drew the basic forest, which was going to be the fetch anyway. There is an argument for trying to play around Daze and Bolt. This might be some kind of Delver, starting out with Basic Island. We have Green Sun Sanit for Elvish Reclaimer on 2 as well, so we're going to go for it. One thing that you might want to do is start, if we didn't draw the forest there, I like to fetch aggressively to get the Elvish Reclaimer out of bolt range as quick as possible. We get swords. This might be the Stifle Knot deck that kind of destroyed us the other day. So we're going to fetch for planes. See if we get stifled. Grab the planes and then we're going to go and sand it for another Reclaimer. So let's see if we get to resolve this. Spell Pierce. That's too bad. But Spell Pierce was going to get us anyway. So let's see if we can go for Knight turn 3 maybe. This might be some control pile as well. Okay, here's an interesting play. So we could go for Knight, but it plays right into Daze. And now when we drew the reflexes as well, there's an argument for keeping reflexes up. So we're actually going to go for Thespian Stage. And then Thespian Stage is going to copy a forest. This taps us out of mana and kind of signals what we want to do, but it plays around Wasteland in a good way. And it also allows us to go fetch next turn and then play the Knight with Legolas up to protect it. And Knight feels like if it gets to get starting, it's going to be so good for us. So they're cracking Spellbomb. So let's see, some kind of Esper thing. Is it control? Is it combo? Is it mid-range? Please tell us more. There's the Wasteland. Played around it. All right, let's see if they're stifling now. Here, unfortunately, we can't play around Wasteland, but that's okay. We're going to let them waste our Savannah if they want to, because we could crop it away, but we want to keep the reflexes up. Let's see if they have a plow, so we're going to go reflexes. Too bad that we're doing the reflexes now, because it's always nice to save that one. Now they get to wasteland us if they want to, although I wouldn't if I were them. So Brainstorm probably looking for a third plow or some other card. Blue Source, Prismatic Ending. Maybe they play Teferi, Bounce the Knight, something like that. If they tap out of Wasteland, we get to go Marit Lage, keep up Talon Gates, because we have the step in hand. Or we can play the step and crop it away and go for Echoing Depths. So we have a couple lines of protection, but they need to tap out of Wasteland. Or we could trick them by, or not trick them, but we could force the action by going for a Wasteland, and then when they waste our Savannah, we can crop that away and go for the Marit play plan. But in that case, we won't have any protection up. All right, they went for the Savannah. That's good for us. A little bit depending on what they have now, of course. But that also, that could tell us that they're not on a removal spell, because then they want to take the Knight. Yeah, they got the bounce on the Knight there. That's okay, I guess. All right, here we're going to go for Mox Diamond. Play around Daze. Replay Knight. Was Force of Will? No. So now we got Knight up. We got crop rotation to protect Knight. We got a route to the big 2020. They are Wasteland now. That's going to take a little longer. They do not. Getting to untap with the Knight. Oh, we drew a Thespian Stage as well. We'll play that. Gives us additional outs. Now, we could go for Marit now. We've seen Brazen Borrower from them. I think that we're going to try to go for it on their end step instead to play around sorcery removal. Are they playing Borrower? Yeah, they're playing Borrower. So to play around sorcery removal, if they play Wasteland, we'll take a turn more off the clock. Yeah, they did. Yeah, we don't care about the Borrower. So we're going to go for it with our protection. They have 3 cards in hand, probably not. So here we're going to go for Wasteland and waste them off their Wasteland. But still, we're going to wait until we have at least one more layer of protection. They aren't putting any pressure on us right now, so the lands are always a good draw with an active Night Out. It allows us to go for our toolbox. If the bar becomes annoying, we'll have the Maze of it. We have the Talon gates. Yeah, we don't care about the Bowmasters. They ping us, I guess. That's okay. Now, a little bit depending. If they drop a third wasteland, of course, we can't go for it. But if they don't do anything now, on their end step, we're going to waste their wasteland and kind of force the action. The frog, that's okay. All right, let's waste their wasteland, see what they go for. They're trying to waste our Thespian stage. We'll go for a Savannah in response. Tap the Savannah for mana. Now we're going to go for Dark Depths. 2 cards in hand. And then we're going to copy Dark Depths. Keep the one without the counters on it. Kill the Flying Frog. And there we go to sideboards. All right, so Esper, good stuff. What do we like? We like Path to Exile. I think Endurance might be a potentially good card to play there as well. I'm not that sure if we want anything more. They have Bowmasters, so there's an argument for not keeping Library in. But on the other hand, they should board Boardmasters out, because I don't think it does enough in the matchup. But we're actually going to take away the Library. We didn't see the Scam package. I would not be surprised if the Scam package is in the deck. So keeping a Soul Guide Lantern in could be relevant, but I don't want to board in too much for the Scam as well until we see which variant of Scam they have. I'm not really worried about them reanimating Griefs. I'm worried about them reanimating big monsters. Sylvan Safekeeper is one of these cards against Bowmasters as well. It's not fantastic, but it's always good to have as a Green Sun Sanet target as well. You can also see boarding a Mox Diamond out, but we'll do that if we get to be on the play. All right, so we're going to board a Caracas out, and I'm going to take one Mox Diamond out. Mox Diamonds are good cuts against these kind of control-y decks. I'm actually going to do like this. I'm going to go down to one Mox Diamond, and then I'm going to keep the Library in. And if they show us that they kept Bowmasters in, we'll board Library out for the last game we need, and then see if we can change our role a little bit, be a little bit faster. But this is what we're going to go for. We get to be on the draw. This is cards that I like, but unfortunately no green source. It's a mulligan. Here we have the green source. This is a keep. And let's see, we can go... So we're going to want to keep the Dark Depths as a discard to Mox Diamond. So we have 2 color sources here. We're actually going to start by binning Sylvan Safekeeper. Now the reason for doing this is it's not good against Bowmasters as we saw, and we're kind of light on lands as well. So we want to keep all the lands on the playing field. So here we're going to play the gates, not face anything out, cast the Mox Diamond, discard the Dark Depths, play Reclaimer. Now, Surgical and Dark Depths here is a little bit annoying, but we really needed the green mana, and it was the best way we could get one. Oh, Pest Control, that's a beating. I haven't played that much against Pest Control, so I haven't really learned how to play around it yet, but we'll get there. So, and here we're gonna go for Endurance during their turn, and then we're gonna untap into Ramanap Excavator. So we want to go to their turn so they get to spend their mana a little bit, and then go Excavator on our turn. Teferi here would be annoying. Wasteland, that's not... Well, it's going to be kind of annoying because we need to go for Savannah as one of our sources. We could have gone for Savannah for both of our sources. So maybe we shouldn't play the Endurance here and keep crop rotation up, but I don't know, I want to get going with something. I guess that we'll target them here as well. I guess Snapcaster would be an argument for... Well, we'd want to target them anyway, force the Snapcaster in that case. Now they can't snap the Brainstorm, which is good. But they have so many cards. They've seen so many cards. I want to have a Brainstorm as well. I don't want to play blue in the deck, but I want to have a Brainstorm. Days, okay. I guess... that's okay, depending if they wasteland us or not. I mean, the right play is not to wasteland us, but they could do it anyway. Another Daze is annoying, but we'll go for it. You can't sit and play your own Daze for the rest of your life. If we get to play a card from our graveyard, I feel a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Now we have crop rotation up, which is okay. It'll allow us to get some value if they decide to start wasting us. And then we can have kind of Marit up next turn. Do we try to save it? I guess we do. We don't have that much else going on. Oh, they are forcing. That's good for us. Pitching a Bracing Borrower. We're good and good. It's if they're that afraid of crop rotation, that means that they probably don't have that many more answers for creatures and stuff. Yeah. You get in there. You go in there. Good boy. Good boy. 3-4 already. Well, we're kind of late in the game. And now we have another crop rotation up. Yeah, we're going to go for it. Let's see if they have another force. Force of will it needs to be. Emergency brainstorm. Can you find the force? I sure hope not. Because after this I'm quite empty. Or maybe they already have the force and they're just looking for a blue card. Oh dear opponent. Tell us what's happening. Alright, let's go for the GWx Depth. And we'll give you Pro White. Alright. So, Saga. We can play Saga. Force them to wasteland it. And then we can go for the copy land and copy Saga. Because the other play would kind of be to go and get a wasteland and try to waste their wasteland and play that game. But I think it's better just to make them use the wasteland and then go and get the land that copies. Alright. Now they're forcing us to use the land that copies for other stuff. That means that we're going to get wasted on the Saga. But I guess that's okay. So, Echoing Depths, Copying Step. I still think that the Elf is the more important card. And we're also moving, we're also churning through their removal. They should waste the Saga now. They did not. That allows us at least to get value from the wasteland. So in this case, we will go for the flagstones, I guess. We could also go for the bog because their graveyard is juicy. Now we'll go for the flagstones. We have one card. Oh, that's interesting. Let's play Boots. And then equip Boots. Ah, Spell Pierce. Yeah. All right. I mean, that means that our future Green Sun Sanites will be a little bit better. Yeah, they're going to get some archive value. But now we're both in kind of top deck and I have an active knight. No, I have an active reclaimer. Frog is good to have in this kind of battle. Let's see if we can draw something good. Okay, that's a good card. So let's see. They can draw one card, which means that they need to give their frog flying for it to get through. They can give their frog flying to get it through. So the problem here is that I can't bog them. If I bog them, they're going to get through without exiling cards from the graveyard. So I might as well make them exile cards from the graveyard. And if that's the plan, and they don't have any interaction in hand, I think that it's time for us to drop the knight. So we're going to attack with the reclaimer. And then we're going to force them to exile. If we had one more land, we could get the best of both worlds. But the knight is going to be huge here as well. It's going to allow us to put them on a real clock. They're drawing 2 cards this turn. They need to be kind of removal, something like that. Maybe not. I mean, the thing that they really need to do is get rid of the knight here. So that's like the most important thing. They can leave the reclaimer up because we're going to have the same problem next turn. That's that we can't both block and exile. And now they get to move some stuff around. But if the knight gets to live, it's going to be huge for us. And I think that there's still an upside to that. So let's see. They had a land. What's the last card? Not removal. That's good. Oh, we take those. I think that the better play here is to just attack with both creatures and then keep Legolas up so we untap our knight. Because what we could do is that we could go knight, go for a land, and then make the knight 11. We could go for a fetch and then fetch a land, for example, and swing for lethal. That if they have a removal for the reclaimer, that kind of blows us out. Although we could also go attack and then after damage untap knight, go for let's just attack with everything. I think we have this game. Doesn't really matter how we peel this banana or whatever you want to say. We're gonna untap and kill the frog next turn, so I think this is our game to win. There's probably a line where I play around all the cards in the world there. Alright, you game flying. We're gonna attack. I'm gonna untap the knight with the splittiest of the seconds. And we're gonna win. Alright, so yeah, I probably should have gone through for it the turn before there, but I think that there were many ways to win that one. So we'll take the first game in the bank and then I'll be back for next game. All right, time for the second game. We won the die roll. Would I like to play first? Yes. Is this a keep? No, not really. Good cards, but no. Let's see. This isn't better. So let's turn to Reclaimer. I will mulligan this one as well. All right, this is not good at all, but we'll keep it. Bottom the Excavator and the Boots, and then see if Library can pull us back in the game. We're dead to a Wasteland. Unless we play like pros and draw the good cards. That means land. Oh, basically. Oh, what is this? The Lava Spur Boots. Like, are you also some kind of... No, I think this is Painter, right? Painter plays Boots because they have the Saga package. But otherwise it's like, yeah, so do Ursa Saga, Dark Depths decks. We don't want to do that. Yeah, this is probably Painter or some other red Stompy deck. A Blood Moon here is always a bad card, but it actually helps us here because it gives us a mana, and that means that we can start fetching. Yeah, that's a card that we would want to maybe plow. Can't plow it because it has ward 1. It attacks for 6. That's not good. Oh, this isn't panning out how we want it to, team. We'll attack with both creatures. So I have some background noises. I'll try to fix it for the sideboarded games. Sorry if you're picking up that. So we got the Spirit Guide there. Yeah, we need a land. I guess that qualifies as a land. Two options here. One is to keep the one Reclaimer up to go searching and chump block with the second Reclaimer. The other is that we want to Swords to Plowshares the dragon. Because what we would go and get, we could get Thespian Stage and hope for a lucky top deck. Or we could go and get like Maze of Ith or something like that to buy some turns. But even the Simian Spirit Guide is going to be out of hand here. No, I think we need to plow here. And we'll plow when we're in combat, so they don't get to re-equip the boots. They're playing Surveillance now as well. Everybody's playing Surveillance. I'm not playing any Surveillance. Probably should. Double block Spirit Guide. Plow the Dragon Engine thing. Pay 1 for the ward. Take away the clock. Or are you just going to go post-combat, play Painter, Grindstone, win? Or Saga. Hasty Saga tokens. Are we dead to Hasty Saga token? Otherwise, we can go for Marit next turn. So we're not going to go for Marit this turn anyway. Yeah, let's just go for Marit Lage next turn. Unfortunately, their Saga's going to pop off multiple times before that, but we'll see. It depends, because if they're going to create their constructs, at least they're going to sink mana into it. Yeah, so they're making that and need to equip it with the boots. We're going to go and block with Reclaimer. It's still a Reclaimer. We're going to block with Reclaimer. We're going to sacrifice the Dark Depths and go and get the Thespian Stage and untap and build a 2020. That's good. Now I don't think we can win with the plan, so we're going to get hurt for 3 this time. Yeah, we might. Depends on. So 3, we go on to 5. Yeah, we'll go for it anyway. I think we have that much of a choice, so Yeah, we're dead here because they're going to get to make another... Well, yeah, we'll see what happens here. So we could go Knight of the Reliquary Wasteland. That at least buys us one more turn. And if they just have one artifact in hand here, we get block and trade and then go for the 2020. Yeah, it seems like that's what they're doing. So it depends on how much power and toughness they can produce here, or if they can produce a combo or something like that. And this seems like it's Painter, so but you never know. So I'll play around Wasteland, see if they show us some more of their deck, because it could also be just some kind of Rakdos, Ancient Tomb, Spirit Guide Petal. Oh, nice. Well, that's a way to win. I'm gonna board like it's Painter. We'll board like it's Painter. Let's see. No boots. No library. I'm going to take away the Caracas as well. Let's see. 4 more cuts. Excavator, although it's good to be able to recoup. I think that we can take that one away. I don't know if we want to go down on diamonds. So when I bring in Oof, you could go down to on diamonds, but diamonds is also our way to kind of turbo out Oof as well. We'll take away 2 diamonds so we have a fetchable thing off Saga at least. Last cut is the deepest. Yeah, I'm not sure. Gotta have anything more that I want to cut. I think I'm happy with this. We'll go for a 61 card special. So the 61 card special post board. I've done the 61 card special pre-board many times before. So this is an interesting hand. It has cards that I like, not necessarily anything good. I just thought that Talon Gates isn't that kind of good against Painter, because if they start grindstoning, you could phase their Painter out. So that's kind of sweet. Argument for keeping the card in the deck and not in the hand. But I like this. If they go turn 1 Saga, we'll Wasteland. Otherwise, we'll go turn 1 Reclaimer. Light on interaction, so we're dead against a combo, but we can build this one out. I think it'll work out well for us. And as we saw last game, you can't mulligan all hands. So we have something we want to do turn 1. Yeah, that's the welder. Well, Painter confirmed, although we knew it was Painter. We now know it for sure. So we'll go and play a Reclaimer off basic forest. Important to fetch basics because they board in Moon, either Magus or Blood after board, usually. There we have Saga, but Saga's covered with Wasteland. So we need something more out of this. Is it the Painter? Yeah, it's the Painter. Now it's even more important to go after the Saga. Painting everything red makes my cards look cool. Pyrokinesis pitching a land. That's a nice play. We'll go Sylvan Safekeeper and Wasteland. Oh, Force of Vigor, that's huge. So wait a minute here. What does Force of Vigor allow us to do? We could save the Wasteland and we could untap and go Force of Vigor into Saga before they make their land drop. We could also see if they don't draw a mana source because they just have 1 card in hand. And if we do that, now we need to get on the board. So we'll play a Safekeeper. We'll play out Wasteland so we can do the Saga thing, and then we're going to pitch quick reflexes. See if we can work our way towards white mana for the night. I mean, it's not game over because they have a welder, and that means that they can get the Painter Servant back, but they're kind of low on resources, which is good. They had the tomb, so we did the right thing there at least. The thing that almost killed us last game. Talon Gates being able to filter mana isn't irrelevant in this game for us. Yeah, they're going for Painter, so they want to have a way to get the combo going. I guess that's okay. Well, that's Green Sun for Collect Roof. That's exactly what we're going to do. Insulate against the combo. Next turn we have Knight unless they moon us. They're not mooning us. This looks good for us. This is Painter though, so you can never be sure. Yeah, of course they get to draw 3 cards. That feels like cheating, but we'll be able to stop that soon. We also have protection from the Oof. That's big for us. I guess we'll phase their blocker out. Attack with the squad. All right. If we get to untap with this board, I'm quite happy. I would be even more happy if we were a little bit more Blood Moon insulated, which we would be if we were able to copy our forest with Thespian Stage, but we haven't really had the time to do that in this game. So if they moon us now, that's going to be unfortunate for us, but we can still do some good stuff. Yeah, we're going to take 4. And then if they don't moon us, we'll have both Thespian Stage copying forest, bog. There's a lot of good stuff that we can do in that case. What don't we want to see here? Fury is a little bit annoying. We also don't want the enchantment Kikijiki thing. Yeah, that's a moon. That's mildly annoying. So green sun. We can go for Endurance, Liberator, Outland Liberator, or one more Knight. You could also go for the Reclaimer. I think we'll go for the Knight. The Knight allows us to get the largest creatures on the board. Now, we'll attack. I still don't want to attack with Oof. I mean, I think that me turning off their ability to combo is bigger than them turning off my ability to combo. Yeah, they'll get to draw some cards here. That's okay. Next time we're gonna have two gigantic Knights if we decide to sack all of lands. I mean, drawing 3 cards is good, but I can't really see what we are fearing here. I mean, of course, if they get a larger blocker down, that's annoying. They kept Vexing Bauble in. Is it for Force of Vigor or is it just for the cycle? I don't know. Land is good. So we'll play the Reclaimer because we might want to sack that forest in combat. And then we'll attack with the Knights. See what they do here. Okay, so they're playing that one there. So let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 isn't enough. So because we're not going to kill them, we're going to keep some lands open to be able to give our stuff protection, our shroud. They want to go for it. They're going to draw some more cards here. And I still think that we're kind of good. Next turn, we're going to be able to attack with a larger squad as well. A little bit, of course, depending on what they're able to get on board. Safekeepers keeping the fort down. Fury is a card that I really don't want to face here because we're going to have to kind of preemptively sacrifice all our combat tricks. All right, no Fury. Crop Rotation doesn't do that much. I think the Reclaimer's free to attack with as well. There might be combat tricks involved. So I guess that they block. Okay, they block there. They need to block more. Once again, I don't think turning off Oof is the right way to go here. They're going to get to draw 3 more cards. Because Oof could have attacked and Magus would have blocked Oof. In that case, we're dead to the combo if they are able to assemble it. We'll see what they do here. So they're tapping mana at least. Jump blockers, or are they going for some kind of value card for the board for that they want to cheat into play with the welder? I guess a really large creature would be quite annoying because then we might not be able to attack with the entire squad. We're going to crop rotate in our end step to get more juice. Yeah, they're going for the Defiler. Oh, that goes through protection. I didn't know that. Let's see. If when enters the battlefield or dies, for each opponent choose a non-land player and that player destroy one of the chosen one at random. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And we can't phase here either because we don't have the phasing land active. So they go for a Knight or they go for the Safekeeper. They go for a Knight here. End step, we're going to go for the Dried Arbor. Get some more power and toughness on the board. Go for another Reclaimer. All right, let's see. Jump Knight, trade with Oof, jump Reclaimer, swing for 2, GG's. Yep, GG's. So that was a match that was brought to you by Sylvan Safekeeper and Knight. We kept on attacking. I think that we made some smart attacks. Probably that the first time we attacked with a Knight, we should have sacked 1 or 2 more lands to get them down a little bit lower. But still, I want to be able to have lands open to go for the Shroud. And then after that, we just continued building our board. They got to go for the Chaos Defiler, and I unfortunately hadn't read the card good enough. We were able to manage and make it through. Dryad Arbor won that one for us, so that's nice. All right, on to the next one. All right, we've been paired for round 3. We won the die roll. We want to start. Yeah, this is a keep. Not that isolated against Wasteland, but we keep these around here. If they don't have Wasteland, we'll go turn 1 Reclaimer, turn 2 keep Reclaimer up, turn 3 Knight, or turn 3 keep Reclaimer up. We'll see. All right, so what are we facing here? What are we facing? Cavern of Souls, maybe Eldrazi, maybe Merfolk, Eldrazi. So Eldrazi, we need to get our mana going quick, otherwise it'll start chipping off on it. Into Mox Diamond, interesting. Discarding a Wasteland. Chalice on 1. Chalice on 1. Well, lucky us, we were on the play and not on the draw. We also drew a Plains there, which is kind of good. So here we're going to go for Flagstones. So I'll go for Flagstones, sacrificing Plains. But do they have any response here? Is it command trying to kill our Reclaimer? Yep, it's the command. That's also a good thing to have with Talon gates. Yavimaya might help them more than it helps me. So we're going to go for Knight here, and we'll see where we take it from here. So Mox Diamond and Chalice, we're definitely bringing in Force of Vigor for the next game. We don't have any way to protect our lands right now, so them exiling it will be... Alright, return, bounce the creature, yeah, that's okay. So here's, I think that we're still going to go for Knight here as a largest upside if it goes down. And then we're actually going to copy their Wasteland with Echoing Depths. We could have copied our own planes. We could also play the Javimaya, but I want to hold back on the green for 1 or 2 more turns. I don't know exactly which Eldrazi list they're on, but keeping that up could be good for us. Now here, they're probably going to waste our stage, or they're going to use the mana to play something. Yeah, that if they want to wasteland, they should wasteland us now. No, they did not. Okay, so this is a little bit too bad, but we think we need to go for the Yavimaya here. I want to play the Excavator. Let's see. If we play the Excavator, we'll still... Oh, we need to have wasteland up. So do we go for the Lage here? What do they have? Does Kozilek's command exile? Yes, it does. In that case, I would want either... I guess I'd want to have Knight up. So we'll play Excavator to get some more stuff on the board. And then we're going to wasteland their wasteland. So the thing is here, I want to keep Talon gates open if we're going to go for Marit Lage. And if we go for Marit Lage in our main phase, or if we go for it in their end step, we can't do that. And I want to have it protected right now. We're still, I mean, we have 2 dead cards in hand. I don't have any way to remove artifacts in game 1. I said on the Dech Tech where I chose an extra endurance instead. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to waste their wasteland in the end step. And then whatever they're targeting, we're going to rotate that away with Knight. They're probably going to go for our Thespian stage. So be it. We'll rotate that away and we'll probably get another Thespian stage. And then we'll try again in the end of their next turn. Alright, Thought Not Seer. Yeah, that's okay. So now we can go for the Lage plan because we have Yavimaya out. Unless they have another wasteland. We could have gone for it while it's on the stack, but I don't think we need to do that. Alright, let's go for it. Dark Depths. Yep, that's why you play a combo. Alright, Eldrazi with Chalice. That makes me a little bit hesitant on bringing in 1-drops. We'll bring in the anti-artifact package. I don't think endurance will help in this game. We could bring in Vexing Bauble for their 0-mana artifacts. I don't think so, but Glacial Chasm was a good card, I remember, in this game. Oof is interesting because it turns off their diamonds, but I'm going to keep my diamonds in as well. Probably not. We'll take away the Soul Guide Lantern and the Bog. And then the question is, do we want to have Path to Exile in as well? It's really bad against Chalice. I think that we'll do like this. So if they go Chalice on the play now, we're going to have a rough time resolving 1-mana spells, and we're already so tight on 1-mana spells. So when we're on the draw, even though I like to take a more controlling role on the draw, we won't bring the paths in now, and we'll see how we do for the last game, if there is a last game, and just try to keep up. Good cards. Unfortunately, Dryad Arbor against a Wasteland deck isn't a reliable green source, so a mulligan. This is better in this case. Fortunately, Crop Rotation is our Force of Vigor thing, but we'll keep this. And here, I'm actually going to bottom step, not because it does that much in the game, but I want to have the possibility to accelerate something out, even though I don't necessarily think it's the right thing to do. Let's play turn 1 over again. An argument is keeping Wasteland for Wasteland, but that's what they started with. All right. Seem to slow them down a little bit at least. So here I think that we're going to try to trick them. So we're going to play Savannah, and then we're going to hope that they play Wasteland, thinking that this is a sign of weakness. And if they do, we're going to crop away the Savannah and go for something else. Thought Not Seer is something that's a little bit annoying. We'll take our Knight in that case, but nope. All right, then we're going to hope to draw land. We drew a land. I want my basic. I wonder if they're mana screwed or color screwed. They're probably not color screwed. They're Eldrazi, or if they have a very reactive hand. If they have a reactive hand, we should have waited with Knight maybe 1 more turn and kept some interaction up. But getting a Knight active early, especially when we're a little bit behind and our mana is a little bit shaky, is good. And keeping the Talon gates for maybe the Lage plan later on is also something to think about. So let's see if they go for the Kozilek's command here. I think X needs to be 3, so they can't do it on their turn. They need to make a land drop. But I don't know. Yeah, the flute. Or as I say, a Force of Vigor target. Okay, they're saying Thespian stage. In that case, I'm not sure it's going to be a Force of Vigor target. We'll see. They're going to go after our lands now, or they have something even worse for us? Let's see. I think that the flutes should be on knight, unless they have something for the knight. Is it the command now? Yeah, they'll return that. Okay, that's okay, I guess. Not getting a 2-for-1 or on that one is huge for us. 4 cards left in hand. Getting down Reclaimer here. Keeping crop rotation up if they go for our lands is one way to go. Knight is still the bigger upside. It also, well, we could also kind of also trick them to attack with a crop rotation, growing a Reclaimer. The problem with the Reclaimer here is that, or the problem with that line is that we don't really want to go for anything right now. No, I think the Reliquary. We're going to go for Knight because that uses our mana in the best way. And then next turn we're going to be able to be tricky with the Reclaimer. They attack here. That's worrisome because that could mean that they have something weird in hand. This also goes a little bit, me being unfamiliar with the deck. Reach 7/5. That's large. That's something worth getting a Maze of Ith for a Flesh Raker revealed. So here we're going to be able to do some stuff. I think we're going to take a hit for 7 and then build up towards the combo. So that means going to get Eye of Ugin. That's no fun. So that was actually an opportunity for, see what they didn't reveal anything. So that was an opportunity for us. They binned the Wasteland, sorry. That was an opportunity for us to kind of Wasteland the Eye of Ugin if they play something mean. But I think going for a Thespian stage here. So we can jump with the Dryad Arbor and then kind of get rid of that one. And then go for the combo next turn. I think that's okay. Return. So this is colorless, right? Yeah. All right, let's see. We don't need the Reliquary to combo. So let's see, if we crop rotate here, we get Dark Depths, and then we crop rotate away Savannah and get Yavimaya, and then we have Marit Lage. They have a 7/5 reach, but I still think that's the line. No, because they have the Disruptive. Yeah, but we can use Force of Vigor to get that one away. So we'll start by Force of Vigor, exiling Knight. They were kind enough to bounce that back to our hand. And then we'll tap this for green. Sack that. Go and get Imaya. Let's see if they attack with the 7/5 here. That's wishful thinking. Oh, they are attacking with the 7/5 here. That's what am I missing here? They have no cards in hand. Have I miscounted? No, I haven't. All right. The guy that they attacked with, or the monster, spaghetti monster they attacked with had reach, so they had one more turn in there, but I don't know, maybe they're out of answers for the Lage, or they're not 100% familiar with the deck I'm playing, but I guess we'll take those as well. So just some finishing thoughts about this game. Them bouncing our Knight actually allowed us to go for the combo there, because we could exile the Knight to Force of Vigor and then crop rotate our way into the victory there. So they actually enabled us to do that. We were going to go for the combo, but on a multi-turn line otherwise, and they have a lot of power and toughness and some good cards in play, so it would have made it harder for us. But yeah, that was a good game, and it was a good showcase for how this deck operates. All right, time for game 4. We wanted a die roll. That's good. Winning a lot of die rolls. That's how you win games of Magic. Now, this hand is not that good. We don't have any early plays. We don't have any acceleration for Ursa Saga. This has to be a mulligan. All right, this looks very similar, but I think we'll go for this one. We're going to bottom the Dark Depths. And then we're going to start with a Wasteland here and see if we can get a turn 2 library. And if it's a game where a turn 2 library is good. Scam is like, I'm going to auto-lose to Scam with this hand. It'll just strip me to the bone. Yeah, let's see what we get, what we're up against here. Well, Swamp is never a good sign. Maybe it is. So play the Yavimaya into the Sylvan Library. Black deck could mean Bowmasters. It could also mean Entomb. That's not necessarily better for us. Go for Archon maybe? No, they went for Grief. Okay, Grief is, I'm sad, but I'm not that sad. Archon would be a much worse for us here. Unless we draw White Source of K, of course, but potentially a lot worse for us here. So they're reanimating that. That's okay. And they take Swords to Plowshares, I guess. What we want to do here is draw crop rotation, so we can play Saga and then crop for, they went for the Knight. and then crop for a white source. Ponder, probably regretting that they didn't main deck their Bowmasters, because we got the library. We're gonna have more cards than you. Well, we'll see. One of the good things about Grief being their first plan is that it takes a couple of chunks before you're dead. But now we have double plow, so that's also interesting. Well, that's a white source. Let's take a more land. Yeah, we're going to pay 4 to keep that in hand. And we're actually going to put that on the top of our library because of them being the scam players that they are. Discard the stage. And now we have double plow open. We're going to plow the Grief. We're not going to plow the Grief. Unsure. We'll see. So why do I like plowing the Grief here? Well, we have a library out, so Grief is about 1 more card draw. It's 1 more card draw, and if they Grief us, we're going to plow the other Grief anyway, because we just have 1 white man up, so we can't plow both of the threats in that case. The bad thing with plowing there is if they go for Archon, because Archon is such a beating for us. They're going for a Traxa. Do they have the Reanimate as well? It's sad if they do, but as long as they don't draw, they have the Archon there, Troll, and Tomb. They have the Grief in hand. This is bad. The Force of Will, of course, the Force of Will. So we need to draw something that allows us to stabilize here. I would say that our best shot is to get down a Caracas here. So either if we find the Caracas in the top 3 cards, or if we're able to find a crop rotation or something like that, because then we have 2 layers of interaction. We both have plow and the crop in that case. So they choose Ponder, Polluted Delta, Force of Will, Archon of Cruelty. So no Scalding Karn, no Underground Seas, no Entomb, no Troll, 1 Ponder, 1 Force of Will, no Daze, like so. Alright, and they discard the Archon. Yeah, I want to use that. Well, that's going back at least. So this is unfortunate, but I guess now we just have 1 white source, so we're gonna out our plans anyway. I think we're gonna keep this. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna try to reanimate their Archon. We're gonna discard a card. It's just gonna be the reflexes. We're gonna flush out their Force of Will. We'll play a Knight next turn. That's not gonna do it because I think we need to dig deep in this case. Unfortunately, our Saga's gonna pop 1 turn too late. No, we can make a Saga token. We can make 2 Saga tokens. That gives us some isolation. I think the play here is pass to their turn, search the Plowshares, the Atraxa, and their upkeep. Take it from there. It's not looking good, but we're not completely dead, depending on how many reanimation spells they have. They need to decide as well if they're playing around crop rotation or if they're playing around, because we're going to swords them with the reanimate or the animate dead on the stack, and then they need to decide, do they want to force our plow, or do they think that we have the crop rotation? I also think that we're going to plow with it, but ponder on the stack, just to give them some more to think about, but they have 7 cards in hand. That's so many cards. All right, let's see how you navigate this. Are you forcing? You are forcing. Pitching the ponder. So now we know nothing about their hand. Fortunately, that means that this resolves as well. We'll see. We're probably dead here, but we'll discard a card. I mean, we were going to be dead to the Archon. We need to find 2 ways to remove their stuff. We don't have that. Yeah, we're gonna make a token anyway. Now this is kind of a squeeze, but we got a lot of things in the board, so we'll see. I've had problems struggling with this matchup for a while now. I don't really know how to approach it. We'll see what we can do. They're griefing our knight. All right. I don't think that the knight is going to be the way out of this anyway, so they might as well have taken it. I'm not happy, but I can't do anything about it. Just that we need to draw multiple cards, and we don't have the mana for it. We draw or the life for it, I mean. Yeah, that's not going to do it. All right. So these are the definite cards. We have Surgical, Macabre, 2 Path Textiles, 2 Veil Summers, 2 Endurance. Then we have Vexing Bauble and Glacial Chasm as maybes. We'll see depends a little bit on how much we can board out. Excavator and Library goes. The boots go, even though they allow us to be quick. I like away with 1 reflexes as well. And after that, we need to go to the lands and see what we can take away. Yeah, because I don't think, Vexing Bauble. So Vexing Bauble is okay against their Grief, but the Grief is going to come turn 1 anyway. Crop Rotation is one of these cards that I like it against Wasteland decks. I don't like it against Force of Will decks. I like it when you want to go for Bog, but the problem in this game here is that the Bog they're going to force it anyway. Maybe we go for the Step. The Step and 1 Depth. Go up to 61. This is trying to prevent them from doing anything. It's not about winning the game for us directly. Maybe we take out Safekeeper instead if they keep their Bowmasters, or they bring in their Bowmasters post board. Bring in Babel. I'm actually going to take out 2 Knights. They're a little bit slow. I go for this. Our green card count is a little bit low with this hand, but you need to YOLO sometimes to win the game. So 2 layers of interaction keep. I'm going to go turn 1 planes, keep up Plow and Surgical, and then go turn 2 crop for the Reclaimer. See if 2 layers of interaction is good enough. In this hand we plow the Grief with the trigger on the stack. And then they grab either the Green Sun or the Surgical, depending on the texture of their hand. But grabbing the Grief at least prevents us from being double discard, because otherwise we're gonna lose both the Surgical and the Plow. There could be an argument as well that Surgical isn't good for the game, for this game that we're trying to play. Another play could be to let them take either the Plow or the Surgical and then use the spell when they reanimate it. I think that's also a good plan. All right, if they're going for Ponder here, they're not going to go for the reanimate plan on the Grief. That means that we can take our turn, probably seeing it for the Dryad Arbor to get Knight in play faster, because we still want to keep Plow up. Plow and Extraction up feel like they're our route to win this game. No plays that we like. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So here we could go fetch for Basic Forest, play Mox, discard Wasteland, and then go for the Arbor. That kind of allows us to do everything. Or not Arbor, Reclaimer, I mean, of course. They still have 7 cards in hand, so it's not like I'm feeling really good down to 3 cards. We're at least doing something. Let's see if we can survive a turn with the Reclaimer. What do they play as removal? They play Bounce. And Bounce I'm okay with. And then I've seen some lists that started with pushes and stuff like that. The Frog game. Going for basic Swamp here, I guess. And then we're going for Reanimate here. In that case, we'll Surgical. Yeah, we'll Surgical. See if force this. In that case, we're going to go to our turn. No, they don't. So let's see. What do they have here? We're going to take a small snip out of that. So they have cards. Let's look at their plan. They haven't boarded that much in. And engineered explosives is about the only thing. So we're going to take the card from the graveyard. Then we'll grab those cards there. We've exiled 4 of them. So Days, we're going to definitely play around Days. I like just shipping the turn here, keeping Bog open if they find some way to discard something, and then having a Plow for the Frog. They can only play 1 blue card unless they draw land, and that's quite good for us. And then if they don't do anything at all, we'll drop away the plains in the end step and get Flagstones. That's the second blue source, but they might want to... Alright, they're going for the Frog. We know their hand now. Here there's also an argument for keeping kind of interaction up for their stuff, but still I think it's most important for us to start using our mana. So here we're going to go for Flagstones. Second Reclaimer is okay. That means we can soon get our Beat Stick in. I know that they don't want a Daze here because dazing here is kind of a bad play, but it would actually be quite good because then we couldn't do all the stuff that we wanted to do. So here, if nothing happens, we are going to go for a Savannah. So now we have a lot of change in their hand through the Brainstorm. Let's at least guess that they're keeping Wasteland in hand and Animation Spell, and then they're going to get a lot of selection. They have the Misty Rainforest to fetch for a Surveil land. We're going to start working up towards large Knights as well. No plays. Alright, so they're going to bounce our Reclaimer with the trigger on the stack. I'm okay with that. The thing is, we can just replay it. They didn't do that. Yeah, because I don't think that would have been that good. And here we'll go for another Flagstones. Fix our mana totally and completely. Bouncing now? No. Oh, that's a card that we like. So here we're going to do a double Reclaimer activation in the end step, allowing us to play around the Wasteland a little bit as well. Or they're bouncing one of our Reclaimers. That's also okay. Will we save it? Yeah, sure. It's going to go away anyway. Yeah, we'll use the ability. Get a Savannah. Did we take away the step? Maybe I boarded out the step. Yeah, I boarded out the step. Do we give them a Wasteland target? Do we give them a Wasteland target in Thespian stage? No, let's just save our Reclaimer. Go for the gates. Maybe bring the step back if this is the game that they want to play. This should fizzle Borrower. We still have Bog open. We just don't have double Bog open. We might need double Bog open. I don't know. We'll see. If they don't play the Wasteland here, I'm inclined. Yeah, they played the Wasteland here. Is it hard cast Grief? Yeah. So now I'm actually inclined to go for the Urza Saga. The reason for that being that we'll get a construct out of it. I'm okay with them stripping the Swords of Plowshares here. It's not that I like it, but they're going for the Knight. Yeah, that's probably smart. We're going to be able to green some for Knight soon. Yeah, maybe we don't go for Saga here. Maybe we just go for the combo. They have 4 cards in hand. Now I wish I kept Safekeeper in. Ooh, or we could play this like a pro. Now we have Talon gates open. So if they try to bounce during their turn, it's good for us. Let's see what we do here. Is it reanimate the Brazen Borrower maybe? Now we don't have Bog open, which is too bad. But we'll go for Echoing Depths, phase out the Marit Lage, and then hope that they don't have Bog as the last card. Step should probably be in here. We lose this game, we might deserve it for taking out that. But this feels like they're going for emergency stuff right now. So yeah, we'll begin sideboarding. Right, well played, I guess. So we'll back the step, reclaim the step. Veil of the Summer and Vexing Bauble are worse on the draw. You could also see an argument for Maze of Ith. I mean, Maze of Ith is good if they have like Troll Beatdown, but otherwise it's bad against Archon. Let's just go for the 61 card special. All right, so now it's time for the hard one. Macabre, Extraction, Endurance, green card, please. Pretty please. With sugar on top and a cherry maybe. I think I need to map out this board plan a little bit better. Back to an argument that I've been having throughout all of these 3 videos. Hopefully Scam will be banned for when it's time for me to enter the tournament that I'm testing for. If not, we need to map that out better. I think this is a keep. So we don't have any turn 0 interaction, but we have 3 layers of interaction. Or the Veil of Summer isn't really a layer of interaction, but we have a couple of good cards in the matchup. We'll see. Turn 1 Grief is bad for us, but the turn 1 Ponder is better for us because now they won't be able to double it up, and we're going to be able to play around days. We don't want to give them information on our hand, so I still hope that we can avoid getting griefed, because then they'll have perfect information. Or not perfect, we have a draw. And that's not that good for us, so we're gonna discard the Thespian stage here. See if they're gonna force this. No. And then I guess we'll play the Lantern. So if they have a Force of Will, they're gonna Force of Will anyway. I guess if they have a Force of Will, we're gonna Veil it. But otherwise, I hope that we can isolate ourselves from their first reanimation attempt. We have Veil if they go for grief, and then we have Plow if they sneak through something. But after that, we don't have that much. So either we need to draw lands so we can scene it for stuff, or we need to draw 1 mana interaction, no, 1 mana dudes in the form of these small elves. Opponent was deep into the tank and then fetched. Is it the Travail land? Yeah. Troll. Troll is a little bit annoying. If they have Force in hand, it's going to be bad for us. So we want to untap in this case. We're not popping the Soulguide Lantern for a Troll though. Yeah, that's a good draw. We're going to go to their turn, and then in their upkeep, we are going to Plow the Troll. So why not go for Soulguide Lantern on the reanimation attempt? Because I feel like Troll, we have Maze of Ith for that, we have Plow. I want to be isolated against their other shenanigans. Savannah was a good draw. So here we go for the Elf. We have Legolas up for the Elf, and in this case we're actually going to save the Elf if they try to target it. Grief here is just going to be Veil of Summer. They might have had a read on the Veil, and if they do, in that case, I'm going to do the reflexes. No, they didn't have the read on the Veil, because we get to keep the reflexes up. All right, crop rotation. Allows us to go for Marit with protection up on their turn and then protection up on my turn. If they have an Edict effect, the Marit plan here is really bad, and it's better for us to just go for it naturally. If they have a Plow, crop rotation is also bad here. So I think that we're going to just send the turn. Or do we go for Sanitaire? Yeah, we go for Sanitaire, right? And here I would like to have Safekeeper, but you always want to have what you don't have. I think getting kind of the right cards in place is more important. I'm gonna start some grief beatdowns, but I'm okay with that. Here we're keeping Bayuka Bog open, and if they don't bog us, we're gonna go for... Do we have another grief? Yeah, we have another grief. That's okay. Next turn we're gonna be able to grow our reclaimers, so we can start blocking their greaves. I guess they go for the reflexes here. Then they attack for 3, or do they attack for free? We can double block and attack for 3 here. It doesn't really change anything because our reclaimer is gonna live, and yeah, it changes something because then you can start attacking us. They went for the crop rotation. I don't know. Maybe that's right. I'm not going to block here. It's on them to do it. So here we go for flagstones. Build out our mana. Heath is great. It allows us to grow our reclaimers without having to activate them. It allows us to keep reflexes up. We have 2 night activations and reflexes up here. We can kill a grief with reflexes if we go for something. But in this case, we're just going to play it safe. We're going to slowly work up for either the combo or for Saga plan. But them being on 19 life makes me more inclined to go for the combo. Frog is okay. I don't like it, but I will allow it. It can grow a little bit out of hand. Could in the end of this chain, we could go for Maze of Ith to isolate against the frog. But first, we're going to go for flagstones. Kind of finalize our mana, so we can just go for value after this. Go for another Savannah there. And then here, we could also go for the combo. Yeah, I like going for the combo. We're gonna go fetch here as well, so we thin this out. That fetch was actually not that good. Could have been dangerous for us. But now I feel quite confident going for combo, so we'll do that. Sacrifice the Savannah, find the Dark Depths. With the Dark Depths on field, copy it. Keep the one... I need to have a ticker that ticks up every time I don't misclick accidentally. Do they have 1 mana interaction for Marit Lage? In that case, this plan was really bad. I'm quite comfortable shipping into their turn with 1 layer of protection up being Legolas Click Quick reflexes, or if they go for some kind of edict effect, going for Talon gates. But if they have 2 layers, or if they have a 1 mana answer to Marit Lage here, that's really bad for us. In that case, I think we need to let it die. It's also bad if they can handle the reclaimer that's active, because then we don't have Talon gates, and the edict effect is not good. But we'll see here. Yeah, you can go for Brainstorm. Another thing is that if they have... Well, people don't play Sudden Edict, or the Edict with that you can't respond to, so I don't think that's relevant. If they go for an Edict effect and we fetch for Talon gates and they have a bounce, we're also dead. So we'll see. I could see an argument here for us waiting 2 more turn cycles to have even more mana up, so we can have multiple layers. Shipping the turn is also not optimal, and here we can also protect against a frog with the Lage, which isn't completely irrelevant either. Wasteland won't make it for them. Well, it might actually. Let's see. Dismember. Sure. Let's hope they don't have Edict. It's like play around Edict or play around something else. Maybe I should have putting Legolas on the stack it doesn't matter because they can't respond to it, and I need to keep select the target first. But now they've kind of forced our hand, so we have reflexes and plow as our plays this turn. We'll see. Opponent is also deep down on the clock, which means that if they have the Edict, the play might be Legolas click reflexes, untap Elvish Reclaimer, block the frog, and then when opponent goes to discard their hand. All right, they're forcing us to do this, so let's do this. So if they have the Edict now, they've navigated this really good. Let's plow the frog, because I can get flying next turn. Should have plowed first, because now Daze gets me. No, so Edict now is bad for us. Nope, we got it. Yeah, I think there's probably a better way to kind of navigate those last turns there that make us even more safe, but we got to beat Scam, and that's really good. So we're 4-0, and it's time for the last round. So let's hope for the 5-W. All right, we lost the die roll for the last game. A game for all the marbles, and these hands we keep. So this is a really funny hand because it goes turn 1 night. I tend to want to keep the hands that go turn 1 night. I'm not saying that it's right. This could be a gigantic liability depending on what they play. But going turn 1 night against the right deck, because you're bolt proof with this as well, it could win you the game on the spot. Of course, if they show us that they're a plow deck or something like that, we're not. Oh, they're elves. Elves. Well, we're definitely going turn 1 knight. But on, oh, they're Nadu as well. Nadu, right? Nadu elves. So, in this case, what do you want to end up with? We want to end up with Yavi Maya, but maybe not in play. I could have gotten flagstones there. Should have kept flagstones instead. Yeah. Are they a daze deck now? Guess it's only one way to find out. They're not a daze deck now. Oh, they're, but they could. This is also a list where I'm a little bit unfamiliar with exactly the ins and outs of it. I guess that they could start going off soon. I think that the route to this is a quick lage. Bog doesn't do anything here. Let's see. So what Santa targets do we have that are relevant in game 1? Not that much. Excavator is not that relevant for us. It's almost better to just go for the safekeeper and guarantee that we're not dead. No, sorry. Safekeeper doesn't guarantee that we're not dead, but we're gonna go for the combo next turn anyway. Yeah, let's go for safekeeper. Try to go for a Marit Lage next turn, and hopefully have a turn after that as well. Probably not, but hopefully. Oh, Dried Arbor. Is this Cradle into Nadu time? This is Cradle into Nadu time. So do we go for Caracas here? Doesn't really help us. Let's say whenever this becomes a target, let's see. Return a forest you control to its owner hands. Untap target creature. Activate this only once each turn. Yeah, that's a vision. So let's see. Do we have any other ways of targeting? In that case, we're going to go for the Caracas. Portal Calling X is 1. Yeah, this. So we can't give our Martlag haste anyway. Do we play the game where we bounce Nadu? I mean, what's bad if we bounce Nadu is that if they get a trigger, they get to put in a land, but they're going to be able to kind of play around their entire deck now. Yeah, well, we have to bounce it. Let's hope that it's not a land. It was a land. So if they have Cradle in hand now, we're royally dead. Yeah, these Nadu piles is something that I need to start learning how to pile it around as well. Because if Grief gets banned, people are going to start sleeving Nadu up from right to left. But hopefully we can rebuild our board a little bit in that case. Go a little bit lighter on the graveyard and find something that isolates us against this. Now, I don't know how this deck kills if they go for the Thassa's Oracle plan or if there's anything else. But we'll see, I guess. I guess we'll see, because Glacial Chasm is a good pickup in that case. So they're building out their Elves hand. It's a Nadu next turn. That's what I don't like. I'm going to get a couple of triggers out of it as well. Endurance, you do nothing. Well, Bog, you do even less. So the bad thing here is that this just, if we start bouncing the Nadu now, they're just going to get to start replaying it and getting extra triggers. So right now they have 2 ways of targeting. Now they have more ways of targeting. One would say infinite ways of targeting. Not infinite, but you get what I see. Get Talon gates this time around. No, it's in the graveyard, yeah, but we can get the land that top copies Talon's gates. So yeah, they can also protect it with Safekeeper. So we're not going to be able to do that because Talon gates targets. Yeah, right. Do your thing. Okay, do your thing. Let's just press F6. No, we can't do that. Let's try the button number 2 and see if that does anything. No, it didn't do what I wanted to. Let's just spam 1. Spam, 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 spam. I want to see the win con. It's probably the hoof, right? Still something that needs to be seen. I don't know. It's also, so maybe I could have aggressively wastelanded them some way. What? No, I didn't have any room for that. I've done all the fetching I can do. Oh, that's not good for us. Now they're gonna start doing really bad things for us. This is the time to say no. I just checked if I started the recording, and I unfortunately did, so we'll walk through this. I'm going to pause for a while and then we'll see where they end up. They won with Thassa's Oracle. Alright, this game, not that much fun in the board for it. Teague for Court, I guess. Path to Exile. Soul Guide Lantern isn't that important. Fog isn't that important. I just don't have that much for the game. I don't know. Vexing Bauble, let's see. Vexing Bauble, what do you do? I don't play any free spells. No, I think this is what we need to go for. We don't have that much fast combo. No, this is too slow. I'll keep this one here. Bottom the maze. I'll start with the Safekeeper. I don't think we need to keep plow up for that much for any turn 2 plays. So might as well get something on the board. And then let's pretend that we really want to keep the creature in the match and start attacking. Echoing Depths is good. It's fine, I guess. So we're not going to go turn 3 night with Ramanap or Knight. We'll play that one as a land. and then attack with a Safekeeper. See if they take the block. We just need ways of deleting their creatures from play. So keeping Talon Gates is that it's one form of interaction, very slow one, 4 mana way of interaction, but it's still one way of interaction. It's not going to help us cast Knight or Ramen up next turn, but it's going to help us cast up the turn after that. So let's see, Green Sun X is 1. Is that Wyward Symbiote? No, it's Quirion Ranger. Let's see what you can do for 2 mana. Now we have it. Alright, so they have 1 mana floating. They're going to untap that, get 2 mana. They're going to replay their thing. I don't think that's the battle we want to take here. And create one of our land enters the battlefield. Create a token, that's a copy. Yeah, we're going to plow the symbiote here. That must be the play. Let's see what we could do here. That technically allows us to cast the Knight and the Ramen up. So we're going to go for that one. I'm going to play the diamond, cast Knight, and hope this will do. We took away one of the mana engine pieces at least, and we'll see how long that goes. Bad for us here, of course, is the flying bird. Flying bird is always bad for us. It's also that we're going to be 1 turn. We needed to have Lage up this turn. Yeah, that's the bird. All right, let's see. Are we there? Oh no, not the cord. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have kept this hand either. All right, let's see. We're probably dead. We'll play a couple of rounds of iterations here. And just see. We can talk a little bit about how the hand was failing, but if we notice that they're about to make it, we'll scoop. Because I'm familiar with this deck, I'm not really sure where it has a fail rate and when it does not have a fail rate anymore, that it's more or less infinite. But I think with a Cradle down and a lot of insect tokens, probably be all that she wrote. I wish I knew how to chat in this here. I would just I just want to ask them if I'm dead. Maybe, how do I do chat? I just press the name, or how do I say ask if I'm dead? So it's probably not a keep, that last hand there. How do I chat? If anybody's listening to me now, I just want to know how to chat in this client. I think that we're dead, so I'll just concede the game because I'm not sure how to chat. All right, 4-1. It's always a little bit sad when you stumble at the finish line, but the decks that I generally like to play, so it's Green-White Depths and before that Aluren, those decks tend to have a problem against all too fast creature combo decks like Elves. Maybe something to think about is to have something in the board for this game. I'm not really sure on what. I'll start to test on stuff if this deck becomes popular. But all in all, it was a good league. I did enjoy the matches that we had, and I felt that the deck worked well together. So if we look at the cards that we're trying out for this league, just kind of look at them. So one thing that I forgot to mention in the Dech Tech is that I've gone back up to 3 Thespian stages. I just like that to kind of have the backdoor to the combo. Looking at the Talon Gates, it was good in most games. It's a card that I'm going to keep. It gets you out of situations that the step doesn't, and it allows you to do some cool stuff as well. So I think that's one that I'm gonna keep in the deck for a little bit longer. I was happy with that one. The Soul Guide Lantern, I can see cutting from the main deck if the format gets a little bit less graveyard centric. I missed Once Upon a Time somewhat, so I might see bringing that one back in. If we get a Grief Band and get less graveyard centric, we're bringing 1 Endurance back to the board, and then we're getting Outland Liberator back into the main deck, and then we're looking at Soul Guide Lantern. Maybe it's a Vexing Bauble, maybe it's Once Upon a Time, maybe it's something else, maybe we'll see when we get there. But I think that main deck wise right now, it's these 2 cards that I'm gonna look at when we have the Foreboded Ban upcoming, hopefully. So that's a little bit what I'm thinking about the main deck. The rest of the main deck worked well together. If we go to the sideboard, I feel like the sideboard's a little bit divided. It doesn't have that good of a plan. I mean, we're good against graveyard decks and we're okay against combo, and those are kind of the decks that I want to have on the radar because I think that I'm weak. I mean, the Delver matchup is quite good, so there's no reason to kind of board too much on that one. But I would like something against kind of those creature combo decks. I used to play Abzan, and I miss having Plague Engineer or a card like that, although Plague Engineer maybe is a little bit too slow. One thing that I've seen that I might want to revisit is getting 2 Orum's Chants in the deck and cutting 2 Veil of Summers. Orum's Chant buys us a turn or two, so if we look back at the match that we lost there, if we had Orum's Chant, that would have given us enough time to build up to the Marit Lage plan, I think. So that might be something. Otherwise, I'm a little bit unsure on how to fight that specific deck. We'll see how large percent of the meta it is. We have something here that we're going to continue working on. I'll see what kind of fine-tuning I make for next week. If you have any comments or suggestions, please just post them in the comments. Thank you, and please continue giving feedback on the production quality and the quality in general. I want to continue doing this. Like, comment, subscribe. Be careful, watch out for large 2020 monsters, and have a great evening.